Hi everyone, John here from LookSmart Home Inspections right here in New Jersey. And I want to talk to you guys briefly about getting a house inspected that you own. Well, why would you do that? Very simple. As home inspectors, we're going to go into your home and we're going to find things simply that you do not know about in the house. And I do this all the time, right? I go into homes where people have owned them for 5, 10, 15, some 20 plus years. We do a thorough home inspection top to bottom, and we find things in the house that you don't know about. Maybe you don't know that you have termite activity or termite damage in the home. Maybe you don't know that that structural corner crack is caused by differential settlement, and that can be a problem, and you have to divert that downspout away from that foundation wall. Maybe that substance in the attic you don't know about. Maybe that's mold caused by poor ventilation in your attic space, where that moisture from the improperly vented bathrooms or kitchen that you have in your home, all that moisture is migrating to the attic and creating, conditions that are conducive to mold growth, right? Now, it's true, this is not a big part of our business. Most of us here in New Jersey, the majority of our business comes from obviously people purchasing homes, new homes that they're purchasing. But there are ancillary inspections that we do. And one of the things that I do, and a lot of home inspectors do and can do and help you in this way, is to inspect a home that you currently live in or have owned for a while. Because you kind of don't see the things that you need to see in the house. And it's just excellent for a maintenance piece too, because we're going to be looking at your HVAC, your boiler, furnace if you have a furnace, all the equipment in the home, the appliances. We're going to look at the basement. We're going to be doing a termite inspection, looking for wood-destroying insects and organisms and, things like that. We're also going to be looking at your structure, top to bottom. So I approach a home that you live in inspection just as I would if you're going to purchase that home fresh. I don't really change my methodology because I'm doing the same type of inspection. Starting on the outside, going to the basement, looking at all the systems, the structure, performing, WDI inspection, looking for mold, other problems, asbestos, things like that. Then we go up to the kitchen, do a full assessment of the kitchen, and then it's a room-to-room assessment of the house, and we go up to the attic space and do a full inspection, of your attic space also. So something that you guys should consider, because we're all busy with our careers, right? You're not a home inspector. You're not a contractor, right? You have maybe a bunch of kids and you're taking them here and there. And then you have your own career and you're busy on the weekends with volunteer work or your own stuff. And you're not really paying attention to what's going on in the house. And it's not your fault, because we live such crazy, busy lives, especially here in the Northeast. But one of the things you guys really should consider is hiring a professional, thorough, comprehensive, and very experienced home inspector to come in to do a full top to bottom home inspection of the house that you're currently either renting or that you own for quite a while. I think it's going to bring to light a lot of information and prove very, very useful to you. So please consider that, inspecting a home that you currently own. It's an important inspection, and you'll learn a lot from that type of inspection. Here we have some fiber cement siding back from the 1950s. And when you see this scallop looking edge right here, this siding is generally an asbestos containing siding. It's not a friable asbestos, so it's not super dangerous. What you don't want to do is start causing damage to this exterior siding or sanding it, where the asbestos fibers then can become airborne. So this is something that you can paint, you can leave it. It is a little vulnerable to mechanical damages because it's brittle. Or you can actually go over this siding with another type of siding, say a vinyl or aluminum siding. And sometimes you basically just want to simply remove it. So if you do decide to remove this siding, the work is going to have to be done by an asbestos or professional asbestos abatement company. because the siding does contain asbestos. I don't know that for 100% fact. The only way to know that and make a definitive assessment of that is to have it tested. I'm not sure if our client wants to do that, but this is probably an asbestos-containing siding on this 1950s home. Do you guys see this insulation along here? It's also under the floorboards of the attic space too. This is vermiculite insulation. 1950s home, and if I kind of zoom in, you can see it looks like little pebbles, little silver gold pebbles. It's very, very light insulation, and a lot of times it will contain asbestos material in the vermiculite itself. So this is something that can be a potential health hazard because this is considered a friable form of asbestos, much different than the asbestos we see that we saw outside that makes up the exterior siding. So this is something that you guys definitely want to look out for, is this vermiculite insulation from these 1950s-ish homes. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer view of it for you here. So see them, looks like it's like these goldish silver, sort of these nuggets. And this is vermiculite insulation that may contain asbestos materials. So be on the lookout for this type of thing if you're buying an older home. Just looking behind this trim on the left side of this garage, and we see a lot of water damage sheathing right through here. And this is different than termite damage. This is not termite damage, but this is water damage. And the reason why we have water damage is because the garage is constructed on basically the grade level. And so what we have is water that's wicking into the exterior sheathing, coming up through capillary action, and it's causing this wood rot to occur. And so this is something that we'll have to tell the client about, and we'll have to definitely make repairs here. So this is not termite damage. This is actually wood rot damage on the left side of this garage. Different than termite damage. Looking at an older roof today, this roof is not super old, but you can see that it's close to its life expectancy of about 20 to 25 years. You can see the granular material, especially at the edges, is worn off here, and that's an indication of an older roof. Now, I like to kind of go to the edge of the roof like this, and I just want to feel that material, and we see that it's starting to get brittle here, and it's easily to crack. So this roof is starting to get older. I don't think it has to be replaced, tomorrow or super right away, but this is obviously something that our client's going to want to know, is that they should budget for a roof near term. And because insurance companies are very conservative in their assessment of roofs today, and I've heard of insurance companies denying coverage with roofs that are only 15 or 16 years old here in New Jersey. So this is something that the insurance company may have an issue with, and they may require you to replace the roof sooner than you would expect. So definitely, if you're buying a home with an older roof, check with your insurance company to make sure that it's not going to be a problem. But I always like to look at these edges right here of the roofing material. We can see that some of the granular material is coming off, and it's just not protected. The asphalt mat is not as protected as we want it to be. Not a crisis, but it is something that we want to bring to attention, of course, to our client. When we see this kind of thing here, where the garage is constructed directly inside or below the hillside, a lot of times we'll find cracking to this rear, or if it's the side of the garage, left or right side. This happens to be the rear of the garage. So when we go inside the garage, we're going to be looking closely for any kind of lateral push by soil pressure causing damage to this rear garage wall. So if you're thinking about purchasing a home with this type of thing, where the garage is actually constructed inside the hillside, You have to watch out for any cracking or structural movement or bowing of the rear garage wall or even the sides if that is the place where it's subterranean, where that lateral pressure can push and exceed the design capacity of the wall when it was originally constructed. So we'll take a look in here and see, but this is something definitely to keep your eye on when we have a structure that is constructed in a hillside. I'm in the garage where we saw that the rear of the garage is built into the hillside. And here we have this stair step crack right here and diagonal crack here. This type of cracking typically means differential settlement, especially when we're at the corner of the garage. So this corner is settling at a faster rate than, say, the balance of the garage wall down here. Now, this is not overly something to get too very excited about, but it is something that generally we want to call out because it is a structural concern, but not super significant. What we want to do on the opposite side of this area here, this is the right rear corner, we want to make sure that we direct our water from this right rear corner so water gets directed away and it alleviates additional settlement of the structure in this corner. Generally, when we see this type of stair-step cracking, it has to do with water collection close to the foundation walls. So this is something that we're going to write up right now, take some pictures, and tell our client about who is actually not present today. Just taking a look at this sink down in the basement, and we see that we have some droppings right here, and right here. So as home inspectors, we're not pest control people. However, we do look for these things. And it's certainly something, if we do see these droppings, most likely rodents, we're going to call them out so our client understands that there could be a rodent problem in the house that they're thinking about purchasing. So this is something that we do not want in the house. They can actually spread disease and also cause damage, chewing electrical wiring, piping, and things like that. So rodents are something you do not want in your house, and so this would need professional remediation for sure. Open cabinetry in the home too. We see we have a lot of rodent activity through here, droppings and organic material. So we do have a rodent issue in this home that we're inspecting today, and this is something that's going to have to be corrected for sure.